is Dean Thompson, and welcome to another Escape to Gaming. Today I've got another great game that I've been very excited about getting my hands on and playing for some time. And that game is the new Walking Dead Survival Instinct. Now this is a game that has had very little information, even screenshots or videos right before it came out. I mean, almost no hype at all on the game or marketing. Very, very little. And I saw some early footage early on. That was like early test footage. And I knew right off that the game was probably going to get panned or get mixed reviews based on some of the early graphic shots that I saw. But this Terminal Reality that did this game, that did the wonderful Ghostbusters game back in '09, did a great job, I think, on this Walking Dead Survival Instinct. Now, I'll tell you what I like about the game. Now, as far back as I can remember, I've been a huge fan of the old-style George Romero zombie pictures. Going back to the original 1968 Night of the Living Dead, and then I saw when it first came out, the first day at the theater in 1979, it was one of the first R-rated films I saw after the original Alien movie, was Dawn of the Dead, a fantastic and very disturbing look at the future of America and this zombie apocalypse. So early on, I grew up with knowing that this was the perfect template for zombies. And naturally the people are dead, the rigor mortis sets in, they walk slower, they can barely move. So to me it's more realistic than, a bunch of football players running at you, at 80 or 90 miles an hour. And I love Left 4 Dead, and I love the intensity of it, but all the crazy, zombie types, and the tank, and the ones with the tentacles, and the long tongue coming out of them, is interesting and as fun to play as those segments are. It's really deviates far from what I think a true zombie movie is and a true zombie game. That's why The Land of the Dead, Road to Fiddler's Green, really gave me the creeps. It was kind of a minimalist game, and that's what I really like about this game, The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. So like many of you out there, I love The Walking Dead TV show. It's fantastic, and I certainly like, the redneck characters Daryl and Meryl that are portrayed in there. Especially back in the very first season, I especially like, how you came to find the Michael Rooker character up on the roof. And it kind of goes back before all that happened and shows what led up to that, kind of through the lenses and through the perception of Daryl and Meryl as they kind of encounter this whole zombie apocalypse. And that's what the game is about. So the first part of the journey, you're Daryl just kind of discovering what happens, and you're on your way to find your brother. And you have lots of choices throughout this game, and that's something that I think makes this game outstanding. So very much like my original favorite, Land of the Dead, Road to Fiddler's Green, that also had a very similar style and kind of a minimalist look to the game itself, the HUD, and even the clunky gameplay was very kind of streamlined. Well, that's very much what I like about this Walking Dead Survival Instinct game. It really captures just breaks down the very essence of it. So you're not going in there where like Left 4 Dead with this ammo clips all over the place. I mean, this game you got to really pick and choose and scavenge very carefully. So you may have a handgun, it has 6 bullets, and that's it. And the thing is with this game is they see you, and the walkers, the zombies, they see you and they can smell you. So you have to be very careful. So you want to use a lot of stealth. I mean, I've already heard a couple people, I beat the game in 3 hours and 20 minutes or, 5 hours, whatever. Well, they must be doing a speed run through the game because I've already got, 5 or 6 hours in the game and I've barely gotten started yet. So if you take the time and explore and scavenge for goods, and quite often you'll go down a back alley, you'll find a way up on a roof, there'll be someone that you can help. There'll be a person that you talk to. You hit a button, you speak with that person. He needs something. He's in a bad way. You help him out, and then he gives you keys to something that you need. And then not only that, but once you help him with his little task, which you could easily ignore and just bypass all that. But to me, that's the best part of the game. So now you can take this person along with you, and as part of your crew. And eventually you can get bigger vehicles. We can carry a few more people with you. But initially, you can only take 2 people, so you have to kind of pick and choose. So you have to look, certain people will have certain weaknesses or strengths with guns, with melee weapons, with stealth or scavenging. And you can use these people and arm them and equip them and send them out to help you when you break down on the roadside or you want to stop in a town and look for gasoline and supplies. These people can actually help you. So these RPG elements that they built into the game, I think are outstanding and really work well. It has a lot of great concepts that I think makes Survival Instinct an incredible zombie game that we haven't seen the likes of before. Now, I actually just bought the new Telltale Games episodic episodes of The Walking Dead, and I haven't played it yet. I'm anxious to go through the story, and I've heard the story is incredible. Well, this game is more of, it focuses on just Daryl, and just what through his eyes and perspective of going through this whole journey with the choices he has to make. So it's not so much a story as it is an adventure of survival, and it really captures that quite well.
What in the hell, Dixon? Aw, Dix, no, man.
Help me.
Daryl, you okay?
Dad? Oh, Dad, no! We can... Well, we could...
Daryl, he's too busted up. Nothing can be done now except ease his suffering. Sorry, brother.
Now the graphics in this game have a kind of an unusual, a strange and yet beautiful charm and aesthetic quality to them that I actually like. I think it works well with the game. I think that you know, naturally we would like to see a few more zombie types and a wider variety of vehicles, you know, scattered on the road and things like that. And I notice those things as a visual person, but I think it really did a great job. So, you know, to me, you can pick the game apart, you know, based off the graphics. And I told my friends earlier, I said, you watch. I said, this game will be panned and receive horrible reviews. And I've already seen a few of them coming, but I've also seen equally people that love the game just like I love it, for the same reasons. It's a good game, so it's a shame. So to me, you have a choice. Early on, you're going to sit there and pick this game apart. This game is crap, and these graphics suck. Well, that's too bad. You're missing out on a great adventure. If you don't have it within your imagination to enjoy a wonderful journey like this, well, then I don't know what to tell you. To me, the best rule of thumb with a game like this is you accept it for what it is. The game is made. It's done. So they're not going to change the zombie types. Now, if something's broken in the game, which I haven't come across yet, then certainly there'll be a patch to fix it, but it is what it is. So every game that comes out, as mediocre or as AAA as they are, I accept them for what they are. Now, I just got done playing the wonderful Tomb Raider game, which I love very, very much, which is an extremely polished AAA game, wonderful graphics, sound, all that. This game also has wonderful graphics, just a different type. It's just like art. You got impressionistic paintings, you got photorealism, you got, you know, Andy Warhol pop art, and games are the same way. I look at all of it as a spectrum of art and expression of how you choose to play the game. That's what makes it artistic. That's what makes art, really. It's something that draws an emotion out of you. You can sit and just look at a basic painting and stare at it for 20 minutes straight, and you see something beautiful in it. Well, that's what I see in this Walking Dead game. This game captures to me the very element that I really was enthralled with the Land of the Dead Road to Fiddler's Green, which is just surviving. You're just scavenging. God almighty, you know, I just need some ammo, just a few rounds. And you find a box with a, you know, a few rounds in it, 6 rounds or 10 rounds for your rifle or gun, and you save them. Now these zombies, if you shoot your rifle or gun, they'll hear you. I got trapped last night, in fact, in a back alley, and I felt overwhelmed, and I knew I shouldn't have, but I pulled the pistol out, used all 6 rounds, got some epic headshots, but then they kept coming, and I got overwhelmed. I got the achievement, it was called Group Hug, for surviving I don't know how many zombies up close and personal, and had to melee them to death. So the game relies heavily on melee and stealth, and I like that. So very much like Dead Island, which is also kind of an equally beautiful game. But the thing with Dead Island is the HUD is just all kinds of little, you know, word balloons of XP shooting out from everything, and it just almost like Borderlands, and it's fun and kind of cartoony, but it cheapens the experience. To me, The Walking Dead is just a bare bones survival game. It's like you have to really use your head. That's what I like about the game. You can use stealth. You crouch and creep through very quietly. Use bottles and flares. Throw them way over against an alleyway somewhere and draw a few away just for just a couple of minutes. Just enough time to sneak past them. It's very intense. I thought I was going to have a heart attack playing the game last night. A couple times I actually had to shut the game off because it just really gets to me. Maybe it's just my imagination as a right-brained person. I don't know, but to me I really am just totally immersed within this game. So what I love about Survival Instinct is the way that you can choose to play the game the way you like. It has these delightful RPG elements built into the game. So you can choose not to interact with some of these strangers that you meet on the streets, but it really behooves you to listen to them and talk to these people and do their side quests, because they'll give you something that's really special. Quite often, in fact, I helped this one deputy out early in the game that was stranded up on this roof. And he says, I'm really good with a gun. If you can help me out, give me my things that I need, get my keys and get some of the stuff that I need, we can get out of here and I'll work with you. And I'll tell you, near the end, it was easier. I could see my objective marker and say, maybe I'll just to hell with this cop. I just want to get out of here. I said, you know what? No, I'm going to find a way to get back to him. So there was actually more zombies than I cared to deal with. But I got back to him. Now I can have him on my crew. So you can send these guys out. You can pick the ones you want to keep, the ones you want to get rid of, based on their strengths and weaknesses, with melee, with stealth, with scavenging, with shooting skills, and what have you. Well, this cop was really good with skills. I said, I'm going to get him on my side. So you take him with you in this old pickup truck, and it's really cool because as you can equip and outfit and arm each of these guys to help you. So as you're on your journey, and that's another interesting point, is that you can just take the highway, which is kind of a straight route. You consume less gasoline, but you stand a higher chance of breaking down too. So you have to be careful. You can take the streets, which is kind of the medium route, which is kind of how I started the game out. And you have a variety of stops at little hamlets and towns along the way where you're going to have to stop and get more gas and scavenge. It gives you an opportunity to scavenge. But again, you'll find more people. You can help them. You can pick and choose and weigh it all out. No, I'm going to leave this guy behind and take these two guys with me because they're really strong. They can help me out. So I love the many decisions and choices. It really has some great choices that you can make as to how you want to survive throughout the game. So I think that's missed by a few other reviewers that have reviewed it. They just say, oh yeah, it's kind of a mediocre FPS. I blew through it in 3.5 hours. Well, that's too bad. If you're incapable of seeing the beauty of a game like this and really what it's designed for. Now, naturally, you could imagine that the game could be a little bit better in a few respects visually, but I think that it really does have a nice look to it and a feel to it. I like the minimalist HUD. The only complaints I have with the game is the inventory system. Now, what I found trying to go through your weapons, it has kind of a weak system of selecting your favorite weapons. I just like the lead pipe as one of my favorite melee weapons in the game, but sometimes you'll have a hammer or something instead. It takes forever to cycle through, this one button that we cycle through the weapon. So instead, you hit the back button, kind of like a menu button, and then from there it freezes the game. You can go through, select, and arm yourself with what you want right then and there. I find that was the best way to play the game. That was one gripe. The other gripe is it has a kind of an archaic save system, very much like the old game Black did on the regular Xbox. So if, like the first night I played it, I wanted to actually shut the game off and eat dinner for a while and watch a little TV and then come back to it. So I got almost all the way through, like 90 minutes of the first, town and level, looking for everything. I was really excited, and I figured it would just stop at the last checkpoint. Well, it didn't. It shut the game completely off. When I exited to the main menu and then exited the whole game, I lost everything that I did. So that's the only thing that I would warn you with, is that if you sit down to play it all the way through. Now, if you die in it, the checkpoints are fairly forgiving. Sometimes you don't have to go back too far, and that's fine. But God forbid you shut the game off, because you lose everything. So that's the only real gripe that I had with the game. So what The Walking Dead Survival Instinct really does well is it creates a vibe and an atmosphere of being in the zombie apocalypse, just trying to survive for your very life. And it forces you to really slow down and think about the best way through the environments, because, man, I'm telling you, you can get overwhelmed real quick in the game, and it's quite intense. So, every door I went through, I'd make sure to close it behind me, and I just would check all my corners. And even still, there's a few really good scares that are in the things you don't see coming that'll kind of pop up and scare you. But just the atmosphere, the lighting, even the music that kind of goes hand in hand with the original TV show really works well with this game. I think they really did a great job of capturing the vibe and feeling of, being on by yourself. And it's kind of scary. It's intense. And again, we know with the choices you can make of who you can take with you, who to leave behind, who to try to utilize to help you scavenge and what have you is really cool. I love the RPG elements of this game. I love the stealth of the game. At first, again, I thought, oh god, it'll be another Dead Island with a lot of melee stuff. But you know what? Unlike Dead Island, this game is even creepier in some respects. It really it gives you the feeling of being trapped alone and just trying to make do with, I don't know if it's a minimalist HUD or just the eeriness of the lighting effects and just the simplicity of it, but it really is a bare bones survival game of surviving a zombie apocalypse. So I wouldn't turn your back on it. I wouldn't pass up on it. I only paid $50 for the game. In fact, I bought another copy for a good friend of mine, and I'm happy to buy a game like this because I'd love to see another sequel to this. So I'm hoping that the game does well, and I'm hoping, I'm certainly, I'm sure the price will drop on it fairly soon. You can get it probably even cheaper, like $29.99 or something like that. But it's worth every penny. I gladly would pay $60 for this game. I love the game. So it's very exciting. And if you love zombies, if you love the old George Romero movies, and if you love the Walking Dead TV show, you got to get this game. It's really cool. I've never had this much fun being terrified in quite a while. So it's highly recommended. So you got a great variety of melee weapons and hammers and lead pipes and just things that you find that you can use for melee. A great range of guns. Even the sawed-off shotgun is just epic. The shotgun shots are just awesome. The way the headshots blow their head clean off is really cool. It's very violent. It's very dark. It's very atmospheric. These are the things that I love about this game. I would highly recommend it if you're a fan of the TV show and even remotely interested in zombies at all. I think this does zombies right, and I think it's a really worthy game. So I'm anxious to play the other one, the other Telltale Walking Dead game as well, just to get those story elements and choices in that as well. But just for a real visceral, frightening FPS experience, you really can't beat this one. This really takes the cake for zombie games. I was quite surprised by it. So again, don't pay attention to every mixed review and quickly dismiss the game. It really has its merits. And I can't highly recommend the game to everyone because not everyone will like it, but very similar to, if you like James Bond, then play the new 007 Legends, or if you're really a diehard Aliens fan, then you might like, the new Alien Colonial Marines game. If you like the TV show, and if you really love the Daryl and Meryl characters, which were portrayed very well, and the voices that they lend to it, really tied it in. It just cinched the game for me. Everything gelled and worked very well, I thought. So naturally the game, with a little bit more development time, could have been a little bit more polished and maybe even a longer, more epic experience. But I think the fact that you can go back and, like right now, I'm kind of mostly taking the medium way through the whole game, through the streets. But you could go back and then take the back roads and explore and meet even more people, more characters. So this game, I could see 10 or 12 hours being put into the game if you took your time and if you went back and replayed the game to try to see some of those other characters in little towns and things that you can come across. I think it's very, very cool. I love the scavenging, and I like the survival instinct aspect to the game. It works very well. So I hope you liked the review. I hope you found it was relatively helpful if you are sitting on the fence. It does have mixed reviews. It's not a game you can highly recommend to everyone, but I personally really love the game. I can't rave enough about it. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned. I'm going to definitely have some more wonderful reviews and rants coming up real soon. Enjoy your games, guys.